Here it is getting dark 30 again, and I'm working on something else. This is a 1997 shuttle golf cart from EZGO. It's got the 2-cylinder Robbins engine in it. So this is my first time ever working on one of these, and I can definitely tell, because I had no idea what I was getting myself into. But it's actually not that hard. So first thing that I did, I still got the battery connected just so y'all can see this. First thing I did was I started taking accessories off, like carburetors, brackets, things like that, exhaust. There's the exhaust back here on the back side. It's still hanging on down there with a stud and a nut. Took the CVT belt off. Took the accessory belt off for, that is a motor, that is not even an alternator. It uses it to start this up, and that works off of this battery here. And I would assume that there's a stator on the back side of that to be able to recharge this battery here. So there is 8 bolts that hold the engine into the frame. There's 4 of them on the bottom, which maybe you can see. There's one there, one there, one there, and one there. They come in from the bottom side. You need a jack to be able to support it. They're 15 millimeter, and if you don't have a jack, it's going to land on whatever tool you're using to be able to drop the engine out after you've gotten these other ones out. You want to probably do these upper ones first. That way they don't bind up. The ones on the top, they're a little bit more difficult to get to. You've got one here and one there. Those two come in this way. And you've got one here and one here. They go in towards the front of the unit. Those are also, wait, they're 16 millimeter, not 15 millimeter. So I used the 16 millimeter swivel socket on the bottoms to be able to get those out, and electric ratchet. Then the 2 that were on the front side and 2 on the back side here, I used a gear wrench to be able to get them out. All of this other little bracketry and stuff are 10 millimeter, except for the exhaust, it's 12 millimeter. This is one of the mounting bolts that go through the upper part of the frame up here. The other ones are over on the other side there. So you've got 4 of these. Look like maybe half 13 bolts, so they're a very common size if you do lose them. You got 4 of these that go on the top side, and then 4 of them that go on the bottom side. 10 millimeter studs. They also have nuts on the outside of them. They hold this plate on. I would assume that's a restrictor plate. I'm not entirely sure because I'm not a lawnmower guy, which is essentially what this motor is. This is the bolt that holds the exhaust to the back of the head. This is one of the nuts that goes into the carburetor stuff. This is an exhaust nut, I think, if I remember correctly. It is. Yes, those are exhaust nuts. This holds the bracket to the front of this bracket, sorry, to the front of the head. It goes in here, I'm fairly certain. If not, there's another bolt that goes in that exact spot. There is Phillips head screws in this one. I don't know if they all come with Phillips head screws or if they come with rivets that hold that back panel on. Up under this section here would be a seat on normal ones. This one is a bed. Got a couple of plugs to unplug over on that side. The bolt that runs through the starter is a 19 millimeter or 3/4, and it is a very long dude. It's bigger than my hand is, and my hand is very large. It's 7 inches from end to end. I would say 8-inch bolt. It goes through the whole entire bottom. This one didn't have a nut on it, and that bolt was about 1/4 of the way out, so I'm surprised it didn't fall off or slip. The easiest way to remove this, in my opinion, since this is my first time doing it, I found it easy to do it that way. Slip it over the drum back there on the bottom side first, fish it out around the top side of it, and then it just comes right off the front side of the motor. It'll be sitting inside of that drum there. Also, the way that I got this out, sorry, I started getting lightheaded a little bit. My medicine's got me lightheaded. I had this apart because I didn't want to take a chance of destroying this section here. It sits onto a taper shaft, better known as the crankshaft. I used a 3-jaw puller, put tension on it as much as that 3/8 ratchet would allow, and then I started tapping the bottom side of the drive pulley. And no, I didn't hurt it. No worse than it was already hurt. Maybe, I don't know. But I had to have somebody help me take this out. It's a little awkward. It's not heavy at all. It's just awkward to pick up. Not entirely sure if we're going to send this off to have it rebuilt or try to rebuild it ourselves. If I can source the parts for it, then I'll probably do it myself. It's a very simple, straightforward engine. It can't really screw anything up unless you put something in wrong completely. And going back in, I'll record another video for that, so stay tuned. Maybe less than a week if I do it myself, if I can get the parts, or about 3 weeks if it has to be sent off. Again, this is the Robbins 295 2-cylinder